Hey everybody, in today's video, I'm going to start working on this. We're going to start building this thing, so make sure you stay tuned. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So, like I said, we're going to start working on the Tyrone Malone's Super Boss. It's a drag truck. Now, I've already posted my entry video that Jeff is hosting. Jeff from Jeff's Model Garage. He is putting on a group build for big rigs. So I figured I'd enter it, and I made a entry video for it. So, go check that out. It's pretty short. It's just an entry video. But yes, this is what I'm going to be working on. So these videos for the Super Boss are partly for the big rig group build, but I do have all four of these trucks. They mean a lot to me. And if you go check out the unboxing of the Papa truck, my Holy Grail truck, that one's hard to find, and I finally found it, and I've got it, and now I have all four trucks. So go check that out, and it explains a bit why these trucks are so important to me. So let me show you what I've gotten done so far, and then we'll get into what I'm going to be doing. So far, I've only assembled the engine, right? Now, the engine, all I did was the unpainted plastic. I've left all the chrome off so that I can clean this up and, get this painted, because this is all one color, right? So I got a little filing to do, maybe a touch up and some putty stuff. Underneath there's some seam lines, obviously, right? You can see the seam lines and stuff there. A little bit up here. And not much around here, so it's actually pretty nice putting this together. Now, some parts are fairly loose. This is a very old model type thing, so there are some gaps, there are some things. There's a brace that goes across here and sits in the frame, and it's pretty loose. There's a lot of slop and play in it, so I'm going to leave that off until this thing is ready to be put into the frame. And then, because I don't want to put it on and then have it like crooked a little bit, and then the motor's not sitting right and things like that. So that's where this is at. Now, going through the instructions, I've noticed that, yes, there are a lot of decals for this truck and for all of them. But so far on this truck, I haven't really checked it out on the others, but this truck, you've got to paint blue and red on it, okay? And that's before you put the decals on. Now, looking at this thing, there is some mold lines. You can see that. There is quite a bit of flash. I mean, like I said, these things are quite an old model. My uncle built these when I was really young, a long time ago. But anyways, here's some mold lines. It goes up and around the headlights, things like that. So I got to clean that up. But if you look, if I can get the light just to sit just right, you'll be able to see. There's some lines right here. Can you see them? There we go. There's one here, and then there's this one, and that one. Well, this area in here, down and around, is dark blue. This stays white. This stays white. Then from this line down to here is red. Now, it's hard to see, hard to get the light to shine, but you can kind of see there's a couple lines here, right? That's dark blue in there. Now, if you look on the fender, you can kind of see a couple here, right? And it comes down. See if I can get it to focus on this properly. And you can see that there's a curve here and there's one here. Some of this is dark blue, some of it is red. And then it comes around. There's also a piece under here. I don't know if you can see it, if it'll show up. It's hard to get things to They're very faint, but you know, they are there. And you kind of see them there. There's one that goes there and one here. There's a line that goes across here and down, and it comes up around the fender. There's also one up on the hood here. I can get it to focus on it right there. See, there's a line there. That's not a mold line. And it comes around and goes, stops here, goes across. This one is a mold line. This one is not. Okay, so there's going to be a bunch of painting that I'm going to have to do, and of course a lot of cleanup, as you can see. Now the cab has it as well. You know, there's pieces on here that need to get painted that match up with the truck. All right. So there's stuff there that's got to get painted. Then there's also the back portion. I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. Now the back portion, same thing. There's a bunch of lines on here, and they're not even very pronounced. That's how old these molds are. The lines actually disappear right here. There's no line anymore, but it goes straight across. There's another one underneath. Then there's two more here, and it fades out. You can see this bottom one here goes straight across, it goes across, and then there's this one, and it kind of breaks up, and then it's gone. There's nothing here. So, and then of course the back under here, there's one up top, one here, and across here. And there's some on the back piece as well. So, what I'm going to do next, and I'm not going to record it because, well, probably pretty boring for you guys. But I want to cut this piece off here, right? Clean up all this flash and all the edging and stuff everywhere, anywhere that needs to be. What is actually pretty cool, though, is underneath. I don't know if you can see this or not. There's a texture under here. See, you get the light. There we go. See the texture? It's textured to look like sprayed fiberglass, right? Like chipped fiberglass. That's kind of cool. The hood is the same way, but I mean, being very old molds, you can see like indents and, you know, very big pin marks, you know, a lot of flash here and there, right? Now the cab, you know, it's got mold lines and stuff I got to deal with, and here you can see the lines pretty good, you know. So a bunch of this has to get masked off for blue and then some for red. All right. Now, what are these injector pin marks or overflow marks, I guess? You know, like there's, you can kind of see them in there. There's one big one here, one over here, and then a small one here, small one there, and then there's a couple here, and like they're sticking up pretty high. Let's see if I can show you. You know what I mean? That's a lot of force. Like, they're pretty thick. Now, there's probably not much I can do. I could try to get in there with the Dremel and get rid of some of it, which is probably what I'm going to do. But, you know, that's where this is at. So, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to work at this, get this all cleaned up. And then when it's ready for masking and stuff, I'll come back and I'll show you that. And I got to figure out a paint color for the frame. I know what color it's supposed to be, and I don't really have that color. So I'm going to either have to order it or I'm going to make it. So I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. Okay, everybody, I'm back. So I've got everything all cleaned up as best as I can at the moment. Most of the lines are still there. I do have blue on order, the dark blue, and the light blue, which I hope is going to be a fairly close match to the decal color. But I do have a secondary light blue ordered as well, so I've got two of them coming. So maybe I can mix the two of them and actually make the color I need. So we got that. The cab is, I've cleaned up all the corners of the cab. Now once I prime it, I have some white sealer coming as well, but once I prime this, I can do some fine detail sanding and stuff on some of the edges, you know, clean up a little bit more, but all the major flash is gone. Everything that needs to be smoothed out, I believe, is smoothed out. Tried not to destroy too many of the lines for the guidelines for the decals, so that's doing good. Same thing on the hood here. I got to clean it up. It's dirty from my hands, but everything here is slightly sanded, so I've got to go through most of everything and sand all that properly. So now that I've got all that sanded out, as far as I'm going to go at the moment, I've also got the engine painted. Now, I started doing some detail painting on it. It's not done yet, but it started. Now, I've looked at a lot of reference photos, tried to get as much info as I could on this engine. You know, the colors, what was painted, what was not painted, you know, things like that. Like, a lot of chrome on this engine, even in the real truck. It looks like they basically just painted the whole thing red, and then there was just the stuff that they put on afterwards, so that you know, they had a nice looking engine. Yes, it was kind of a show truck, but it was more of a drag racing and performance type truck. So they didn't go all out detailing and painting and all kinds of different things. So a few little touch-ups I'll have to do on this and pick out a few more things, but basically this is ready for chrome. Now, I've also gone ahead and started assembling the frame, okay? And it's a little finicky, but again, being such an old kit and trying to follow the instructions, the instructions aren't the most clear, and the spots that they indicate where to put certain things just doesn't seem to be there. So, for example, this little drive shaft loop or whatever. Now, I don't know if you can see this. Let me zoom in for you. Okay, see that notch right there? Right there. That's where this is supposed to go. Okay. Now, this doesn't fit in that notch at all. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but it does not fit in that notch at all. Now, if you go to the other side, look at some of the plastics actually missing. You know, this one's just an inset on top. You know, it's hard to see, but it's just an inset there. The other side is missing plastic, right? Now, that's fine and all. We can deal with that. But there's this piece here. This is, I believe, your twin stick transmission. So you'd have your primary transmission, then you'd have the secondary. This would be your splitter transmission in a sense, right? There is a part here somewhere. Oh, this piece right here. This piece here, okay, this connects onto it. Not a big deal, okay? But let's see, I don't know if I can show you here. This indicates that, okay, that goes onto here. And then this, you notice, got a notch up and a notch down. And it shows going into a notch in the frame. Looks to be roughly about the end of the torsion rods. So now, if you look at this, okay, there's the end of the torsion rod, right? This one's set back a bit. Okay, and if you look at the other side here, this one doesn't even have a T, it's just a straight piece up and down, okay? So that's the way it looks. So I'm going to assume that's the way it should be. But if you go by that, you go by the instruction, that's the way that should be. And as you can see, this is why certain things aren't glued together. That's how much play there is. Okay, so if you're going to build this, make sure you pay attention, because some things I'm not gluing right away until they are actually in place. So this here, this here should fit into this spot, like so. Okay, now that's putting it in the way they say to. and it don't fit in the slot. Okay, so you have to take this one and actually flip it around. This is just so that if you guys build this, you know. I do these things so that I figure them out. You don't have to. It gives you less headaches. So now you can see that it's actually loose in there, and it's actually sitting in that T spot where it's supposed to be. So there, as you can see, it's kind of focusing, but it's in that little T spot right now. So you'll have to glue that up tight to the top, make sure it's sitting flat, right? So that'll get put into that place. So that's good. And then one last piece, this one here, like this. This one will get glued into this spot, like so. And the frame will be done. Well, not done, but there are small little other pieces. So I'm going to finish that up. I'm going to come back. I'm going to show you that, and I'll probably end the video there for now. But it won't take me long to get another video out. So if you're liking this, hit that thumbs up for me. Maybe hit that subscribe button. And maybe your dads, uncles, brothers, you know, things like that. Even mums and daughters. Some of them may remember these vehicles way back in the 70s and stuff. I mean, I was pretty young. I was about maybe 8 when they were here in Canada. But, you know, my dad remembers them. So yeah, share the video for me. Show everybody that you know. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And I'll be back in a second. Okay, everybody, I'm back. So I got a lot more parts on. As you can see, I got the rear diff, the secondary transmission, all the cross members are in. Front axle is on. Steering linkage. The hydraulic steering. You know, so that's all in. This is all dry for now, you know. So yeah, that's where that's at. I haven't done any more with the engine. I haven't touched the body. I am getting a whole bunch more parts ready to go. As you can see, I got the radiator, the side steps, air tanks, fuel tank. I still got the fifth wheel hinges here and the brake pod at the back. So I'm doing all of this and I'm assembling it all because all of this here, other than a few little things that I can hand paint, all of this is blue, that light blue of the frame. The inside of the body and all that stuff all has to get the same color, so I have to paint everything on the inside of the hood, the body, and the back part. The outside of the interior tub has to be that color as well. So once I get that paint here and I try to make up the proper color that actually matches the decal light blue, I will end up painting all this. That's why I'm making sub-assemblies. Some stuff, you know, I can get into pretty much everything here, and then I've got to paint things like the third member here has to get painted a different color. There's a little bit of steel color here and there on the linkage and stuff like that. Saddle straps or saddle tank straps, they'll probably get painted. Just, you know, things like that, like the radiator. They got to get painted, you know, like the radiator itself. You know, maybe the clamps that hold the brake pot down, you know, things like that. I'm going to see. I don't know if I'll put the tank on because it may hide a bunch of stuff that I don't want in the way, but I may put the brackets on. We'll see about the steps. I may put the steps on. You know, the radiator. I could probably put the radiator on because I'd be able to get both sides and all that stuff. So that would be all good to go. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm going to leave you. And yeah, so in the next video, hopefully my paint will be here. We can get that painted. I'll get the chrome on the engine. Maybe get the interior of the body painted. the exterior primed, get the rest of this put on after everything's painted. We'll see where we get to anyways. So if you're liking this, again, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button so you get notified and you don't miss out on any videos. Check out the links below. I have my Facebook group, and my Instagram down there. I post pictures there so you can get sneak peeks of stuff before, you know, it comes out on video. And I do have a PayPal me account down there, so if you want to help out the channel in any way, please feel free to donate. If you do donate, I will be putting your name in the credits at the end of the videos. So with all that being said, have fun building your models. Just do it your way. And until next time, later.